Welcome to another video for Anatomy and Physiology. In this video I'm going to be highlighting the muscles of the arm. Okay? I'm going to take a look at the posterior arm first. And there's two main muscles that I want to look at. First is the largest one, it's the triceps. Triceps brachii. Triceps, you hear it in the word, tri, meaning there are three different branches of this muscle on the posterior arm. And all three of these muscles insert at the same point, and that's the olecranon process of the ulna. So let me zero in on that right there. Okay, so you see this right here? Okay, olecranon process. Alright, so let's take a look at the lateral head. Okay, so here's the lateral head, and you can see that its point of origin is the posterior surface of the humerus. Okay, and then I have my long head. Okay, and the long head's point of origin, here let me see if I can zero in on that. Okay, the long head's point of origin is on the infraglenoid tuberosity. So here's a glenoid cavity, and then here is my point of origin for the long head. And as I mentioned before, its insertion point is the same for all three, olecranon of the ulna. Alright, so let's take a look at the third head of the triceps, and that is your triceps, the medial head. Okay, and its point of origin here is on the posterior surface of the shaft of the humerus. Okay, and these muscles, both of these muscles, have the same function, and that is to extend the arm. So here, let me zoom out, and you can see the arm being extended. Okay. Last but not least is this tiny muscle right here, aconius muscle. Its point of origin is on the posterior aspect of the epicondyle. Okay, so here's your epicondyle right here, and then here's the posterior surface of it. And its insertion point is it's on the proximal end, okay, the dorsal proximal surface of the ulna right there. Okay, so I can get you a better view. Yeah. Okay, so it's just below the olecranon process of the elbow, or of the ulna. Okay, so these are the two muscles, the two main muscles of the posterior arm, and they are used for extension. Okay, so they connect to your lower arm, okay, and they extend the arm. They widen the angle. Okay, so now we're dealing with the anterior portion of the arm. These are the flexor muscles. They flex. They close the angle between the radius ulna, the forearm, and your arm, your humerus. Okay, so you'll notice that they close the angle. Alright, so I have highlighted here the belly of the biceps. Biceps, just like your triceps, indicates that there are two heads. It bifurcates. Okay, so here's your first one. This is the short head, and this is the long head. And you'll notice here that they both have the same insertion point. Here, let me highlight the radius, and then let's zero in on that radius. So you'll see here that they insert on the radius both. Okay, so when they contract as they are right now, they pull up on the forearm, okay, closing that angle. Alright, so let's take a look at where both of these muscles originate from. So we're going to take a closer look at our scapula, because they both connect to the scapula. The short head connects to the coracoid process of the scapula, okay, and then the long head, you'll see, goes into your supra to your glenoid cavity. Okay, so here's your glenoid cavity right here, and then here is the point of origin for the long head. Alright, so that's a superficial view of the biceps. There's actually two layers, and let's take a look at that deeper layer. Alright, so taking a look at the deeper layer of the biceps brachii, you see your brachialis. The brachialis, its point of origin is on the anterior surface of the humerus, and its insertion point, okay, let me highlight the ulna. Okay, its insertion point is at the ulna. So when it contracts, it pulls in the forearm. Okay, so your two superficial layers, okay, the short head and long head, connect to the radius, and then your deeper layer, your brachialis, inserts at the ulna. And then last but not least, we have the smaller flexor muscle, your brachioradialis. Brachioradialis, indicating that its point of origin is on the superficial surface of the epicondyle. Okay, it's supralateral actually to the epicondyle. So this is my epicondyle, supra, above, lateral, on the lateral aspect of the humerus. And as you can see, this particular muscle has an insertion point on the radius, but it has its point of origin, its insertion point more distal to the other muscles. Here, let me back up a little bit. Okay, it's got it pointed right here at the stylus of the radius. Okay. All right, so those are the three muscles for the flexor muscles of the biceps brachii of the upper arm. This is the anterior portion of the arm, and that concludes the muscles of the upper arm. Okay, good luck in your studying.